All right, so the time is tick right now. All right, guys. So thank you very much for joining the webinar today. And once again, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Karthik, and I am from executeautomation.com. And today I'm very honored to have you all with this webinar. And thank you so much for the Katalon Studio team who has given me an opportunity to talk with you all via this webinar. So I guess it's really a great thing which is happening from the Katalon Studio team, and they have released so many different tools and so many different support from the way the Katalon Studio is evolving, like for past 2 years. And today we are pretty excited to announce that Katalon Studio is launching yet another efficient way to work with automation testing in much easier fashion, and that's the Katalon Studio's own Katalon Store. So as you can see, the topic here is like top up Katalon Studio, explore plugin for better testing efficiency. I guess while you register for this webinar, you might have seen there is a new portal from Katalon, like Katalon Store. And you might have seen some of the plugins. If you have not, that's what we're going to be discussing in today's webinar. So this is what it is, guys. This is the cool thing that we're going to be discussing about today in this whole webinar. As I said, the agenda of today's webinars are going to be this. So we are going to be talking about the Katalon Store overview, understanding the Katalon Studio plugins, and creating custom keywords as plugin, and publishing the custom keyword plugins in Katalon Store, and installing and working with plugins. So as you know that there are so many different tools available in the market. Mostly on the store side, you have seen that there are some plugins which are kind of very, very cool because they try to extend the actual capability of the tool itself. And Katalon Store is one such effort from the Katalon team on how we can enhance or extend the way the testings can be done, and it can be leveraged the usage of the plugins from among the community. So that's what we will be discussing. And there are two ways of doing the whole Katalon plugin. One is using the actual plugin. So it's going to be like a Katalon Studio platform that we'll be discussing in this webinar. And there is one more thing is like creating custom keyword as a plugin. So like keyword as a plugin is something which is kind of very, very enhanced way of using your existing functionalities of keywords within Katalon and using them within your plugin feature of Katalon and deploying that in the plugins portal and then using it. Again, we'll be discussing all of them in today's webinar here. So as I said, Katalon stores. So the Katalon Store is a collaborative marketplace for Katalon community to use and create add-ons product that extend the testing capability of Katalon Studio. As I said before, it's just going to extend the way that we are working currently, which is really cool. And the Katalon Store serves as a platform for testers and developers to install add-on, or also known as plugins, to help community add more features and optimize the test. So as I said that the plugins or the add-ons are something that we have seen in many different tools available in the market. And these add-ons basically are going to be helpful for extending the current feature and leveraging the power of Katalon's own functionalities even much further. And that's why this plugin comes into the picture. And user can install, manage, and even rate and write a review for the plugin as like any popular online stores and pretty much like Apple stores or Google Store, Play Store, something like that. You can install the plugin, and if you want to even commercialize the plugin, you can also do that. And again, that's going to be coming soon. But the Katalon Store has provided many different features, which you can not only just create a plugin and just deploy that in the plugin store, but you can still see some of the actual features that you can see in the markets can be available within the Katalon store itself. So in short, the Catalan Store is a one-stop shop with all the community contributed plugins, custom keyword as plugins, and commercialized plugins. Well, as you can see here, the plugins is something that is completely different from what you can think of like a keyword as a plugin. The reason is because the keyword as a plugin feature is much easier to do. And I think that's what we'll be discussing in this particular webinar. It's very, very easy. You can even extend your own knowledge of or existing way of using the keyword within Catalan, and then you can pick it up and you can build a plugin in less than 10 minutes, I guess. But the plugins is completely different, which we'll be not discussing in this particular webinar, but we'll be going through the plugins of Catalan, which is available in the stores right now. And the same applies for the Catalan's commercialized plugins as well. So let's quickly see how the Catalan store looks like. So I hope you might have already seen that, but if not, I will quickly show you that. So Katalon stores, you can just search for that, and you can see that store.katalon.com. And this is the all new portal from Katalon team. And you can see that I currently have an exit automation logo for MFA. So this is just for the demo. After that, we will be just taking this down. But you can see these are some of the cool plugins which the team has released. And these are some of the much efficient way of using the plugins within your Katalon. So how that you can install the plugin and how that you can use this plugin is very, very easy right now. All you have to do is you need to have an account in Catalan for sure. While downloading Katalon Studio, you need to have an account, and that's the same account applies in here as well. You just have to log into this particular portal, and then you can go to any one of the plugins. For instance, the HTML table custom keyword plugin. I guess this is pretty new, and the team has released so many different plugins in past couple of days. And you can see there is an install button. So once you hit this install button, you will see this agree license agreement page. You can go through that and hit agree, which is going to be installing these stuffs for you. So you can see it's just logging me in. I'm going to hit agree. That's it. So you can see it says uninstalled, by the way, but it's not actually installed yet. All you have to do is you need to download the latest version of Katalon Studio within your machine to start working with it. So the latest version, which is released already and it is available for you to download, you can try it out. So you can just go here in the plugin store. So you can see this is a new feature you can see in here with the latest build of Katalon. And then you can just click this and you can see there is something called read all plugins. If you just hit this, you can see it is going to fetch the plugins based on your account, because as you know, every time you log into this Katalon, it's going to ask you the username and password for you as well. So that's what it is currently doing. So it's basically going to install the plugin for you, and it shows you that it is going to install this guy, the HTML table custom keyword within your Katalon Studio. And I have already installed this auto healing smart XPath, and it's really cool feature as well. So you might have you might have seen something like smart XPath before, and this is something more extending the capability of smart XPath even beyond that using auto healing. So yeah, so we have installed this particular plugin in here, and once you install that, if the plugin shows you some icons, if the plugin, the Katalon platform plugin, have written something to show in this particular toolbar, you can see that over here, like smart XPath. But if you don't really have written that particular interfaces to extend that capability, you won't see that in here, but you can still use that. So these are the different ways of using the plugins and stuffs within the Katalon Studio with the Katalon Store. And commercializing plugins. So as of now, the team has introduced all the plugins over here that you can see. They're all kind of free, and you can see there are some paid versions as well. So the paid versions are something which will give you like 30 days of free trial. So if you select this guy, So you can see that I have only 7 days remaining from 30 days. So I've been trying this plugin. And once the trial expires, you need to purchase this particular plugins from the store. So anytime you can log in and you can use this particular plugin for 30 days, the paid versions, and the free version is free forever. So you can just keep on using that unless the author feels like it is going to be free. So all other paid versions that you can see in here or actually paid versions. So it gives you 30 days of trial and then you can use that. And I guess there are some promotions going on, like you will get like 50% discount on all the future purchase if you install the beta plugin for free, which is a cool option that is currently running with the Katalon Studios portal. And as that said, these are the Katalon stores, and this is the stuffs that the team has introduced right now. And the next thing is the Katalon plugin platform. So as you can see, the Katalon plugin platform is a Maven-based Java project. So this is the one which I was talking about. So if you want to build a plugin from completely ground up, it's not the plugin, the custom keyword as a plugin, that's different. And this is Katalon plugin platform, which is something that you have seen like the Smart XPath plugin. That's the one developed using this particular platform. It's a new platform developed by the Katalon Studio team, which is a Maven-based Java project. And it allows the user to build plugins and contribute to Katalon Studio core features via extensions with extension points. Again, guys, don't confuse yet regarding the plugins. We are not discussing a lot about the Katalon plugin platforms. We may be discussing that in our YouTube or maybe in as a different webinar. But as of now, for now, in today's webinar, just be informed that these are the things that you can do with the Katalon plugins. So there are something called extensions and there are something called extension points, which are going to be helpful for you to extend the code that you're writing. So there are many Katalon defined extension points available in the form of listeners, something available in this namespace like com.katalon.platform.api extension.x. So the X here is listener. So there are many different listeners available. So right now you can see within the Katalon's GitHub repo, there are some informations available like what are these listeners doing. So every time you load a plugin, there should be a listener popping up. And then once you close a plugin, a new listeners can be called. And similarly, you can extend this particular listener in many different ways. And you can use that for building your own plugins within Katalon. And the implementation of the class extends the interface to perform the custom action. So you can see that this particular line doesn't really make any sense in here. The reason is because this particular implementation is something that we need to see before we can actually see the custom action. So it's something that you need to be extending for writing the extension to perform an action on that. So these are the custom plugin platforms, and we'll be discussing about that in a separate webinar or something like that. But as of now, for today, just to get started with the Katalon Studio store and writing some very quick Katalon plugins, we are going to be discussing something called as the custom keyword as a plugin. So you can see this is the available Katalon plugin to try out. Like there are some free and paid versions. We have already discussed about that. So the Katalon keyword as a plugins, which is the custom keyword as a plugin, is a very, very lightweight and a handy mechanism to share and robust and reusable code across your own team or to the community via Katalon plugin stores. So I guess we have already discussed a lot, and there are many documentations available in Katalon Studio regarding the custom keywords, which is pretty handy while we work with the whole Katalon Studio itself. So the whole process of developing a custom keyword as a plugin is also very, very simple. All you have to know is the idea behind custom keyword of Katalon Studio and basic understanding of Gradle. So as you can see at this point, Maven is not supported yet, but that should be releasing pretty soon as well, I guess. But yes, this is the custom keyword as a plugin feature, which is very handy to work with your own existing custom keywords. You can zip it up basically, and then you can even export that in the Katalon Studio stores. So there are steps to build this custom keyword as a plugin. The first one, to create a custom keywords in a Katalon Studio is this. You need to create a Katalon plugin.json file with the following content. So this particular Katalon plugin.json file is a new file that you're going to be adding within your existing keywords folder of your Katalon Studio project. And then, as you see here, this is a JSON file, and that's why you see that that brace is there. And there is a keywords colon mfa.read mfa. So you can ask me, what is this guy? Mfa read mfa? Well, mfa.read mfa is the package name. The read mfa is the class name. MFA is the package name. So I'm just going to define that this is the keyword that I'm going to be exporting from this particular class from this particular package. So that's what it is. The mfa.read mfa, which is going to be something that I'm going to be packaging up as a keyword within the Katalon Studio plugin. And then we need to create a build.gradle file with the commands to package this keyword as a plugin. And again, this build.gradle file has a lot of commands that we'll be discussing not now. I'll be showing that in my screen. And I will quickly walk you through like how it looks like. And once the build.gradle file is ready, you need to then run the Gradle Katalon plugin package command, which creates a jar file. And then because the stores won't accept the jar files, you need to zip it up, and then you need to upload into the Katalon store, and then you can consume that from there. But you cannot just put everything in the Katalon store in one shot, because it just go through a lot of review process. Katalon team will go through your plugin, they check the code, and then they will make it available for the public. But before that, if you want to test it out in your own local machine, you can take the jar file and you can put that particular jar file in the plugins folder of any other consuming project, because this is a jar file that you're using to build a plugin. And then you should have another project which is going to consume the jar file. Let's say you're going to be sharing that to the community. And that particular project, you can open the plugin folder and then you can place this jar file, and then you can start using that. I hope it all makes sense now. So as I said, the build.gradle file. So how is that build.gradle file is going to look like, and how it's actually been built? So this is the build.gradle file, which the Katalon Studio team has mentioned. It is there in their own GitHub repo. So you can just go there and you can see how the build.gradle file is currently available. It's exactly the same thing, but I just changed a little bit here. I'll quickly show you that as well. So you can see it has a plugins, it has some repositories, and you can see there are some repositories from where it is coming from. And there are some dependencies, there are some source sets, and there is a jar that you need to exclude. And then this is the Katalon's dependency prefix. So whatever that you package up, it's going to have this particular dependency into the particular jar file, right? So this is the build.gradle file that we are going to be creating within our project to have any one of your Katalon Studio's custom plugin into a plugin itself. So you may be wondering, like, where is this particular project is coming from? Well, if you see, all these demonstration that we'll be doing today is going to come from this GitHub repo, github.exitautomation.com/Katalon two-factor auth.git. So if we just go to the Chrome browser, and if you search for GitHub Execute Automation, and if you just go all the way to the repositories, you may be requiring to download two repositories. One is the application, which does the two-factor authentication. It's a .NET Core based app. That's what I'm going to be showing in today's demo. And then you need to download this Katalon two-factor auth repo as well. So as you can see, this is something we discussed pretty long time before, and it has a keyword like MFA, and it has this read MFA groovy. So now it start to make you sense, like, what is this read MFA coming from, right? So it's coming from MFA read MFA, and that's exactly what we discussed in the slide before. if you recollect, the keyword MFA, read MFA, is coming from this particular namespace, or the package name, sorry. And then you will have this particular core up and running, and make sure that if your secret is going to be different, you need to have that particular secret. As you can see, I have hard-coded the TOTP secret in here, so you may need to change the secret while you use that. I just copy pasted my own secret based on what it is generating, right? All right, so as that said, I'm just going to use this particular repo. I have already cloned that, and it is currently available in my machine, and then we'll pick it up from there. So this is the latest version of Katalon Studio 6.1, and you can see that I have already cloned that. It's in my demo folder, and this is the two-factor auth. I tried to execute this code, and it is actually working fine, just to make sure we're not messing up anything during the demonstration. So I'm just trying to run this again. And you can see that it opens the browser, it logs in, enters the username and password, it enters the auth code, and the auth code is something which is coming from this particular method, the custom keyword .mfa.readMFA.getMFA token. So this getMFA token is something which is coming from this particular Groovy file, this particular custom keyword, from this particular method, getMFA token, right? And then the quest of today is to make this particular custom keyword that we have been using all these days in Katalon Studio as a plugin, and then upload that in the Katalon Store. So you can see that I already uploaded that one, but I will quickly show you like how it looks like. So the first thing is I'm gonna open this particular project within Visual Studio Code. So you may be wondering, like, why do we need to really do that? You can actually create a file much easily in the folder structure as of now, which is really handy as well. So I'm just going to open this particular projects in the containing folder. I'm going to go to this particular folder, or maybe this project, and then I'm going to use open Visual Studio Code to start creating whatever we discussed in the step-by-step in our slide. So I'm just gonna put that guy over there. All right, so the first thing, as I said, we need to have a file called Catalan plugin.json file in this particular folder. So I'm just gonna create a new file, and I'm gonna call this as Katalon plugin.json. And this particular JSON file is going to have the content based on our keyword. So again, the keyword, you should have this particular read MFA and the package name, which is nothing but the MFA. So I'm just going to go over here, and then I'm going to create this keywords. And I'm going to say MFA.read MFA. Oops. And MFA.read MFA again. Oh my God. Okay. So this is the thing that we need to be typing over here for this particular project. And then we need to add a build.gradle file, which is going to hold all of this stuff. But before that, the one thing which I need to show you is, because this particular read MFA actually uses a third-party TOTP jar file, you also need to include this jar file within your own custom plugin. So you may be creating a different custom keyword plugins for your project in future. By the time, you may be consuming many different jar files, which is not something available within Katalon Studio. So you need to make sure that you need to you add those as a dependency within your project. So as you can see, I have this arrow gear OTP Java 1.0 CR 1.jar file. I just put that intentionally over there because Katalon need to use that. But during the build process, we need to make sure that we add it as a dependency in the build.gradle file, because build.gradle file can directly pull that from the repositories. It's very easy for us to do right now instead of just copy pasting the jar file, which is cool. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to create a new file. And I'm going to call this as build.gradle. And within this build.gradle, I'm going to copy paste pretty much everything that we just saw before, but just that I will walk you down what is each and everything doing. So this is the plugins where you're going to add the ID of Java, Groovy, and these are some of the required files, plugins that you need to have, the namespaces that you need to have for your building process, and then the repositories. So you can see that I just put this particular Maven URL in here for the Arrow OTP Java. So there should be some better way as well, but I just did some rough way of doing that. I just copy pasted this URL, and this is where this particular jar file is actually coming from. And then they also added the J Central and Maven Central. That's where most of the dependencies actually sitting. And then you can see the dependencies. This is the only dependency I really have in my whole custom keywords. That's why it is sitting in here. And then the source set, where you are saying that the source directory is keywords folder, this one, and include the scripts /Groovy. So whichever is there, just include all of them. And it also includes all of the files over here, right? And then you're going to exclude some of the temporary class files, because sometimes it creates some of the temporary files while you keep on running that. So you need to exclude that. And then you're going to add the dependency prefix with com.catalon, because that's what it makes more authentic during the review process as well. So this is the build.gradle file. It's kind of very, very simple. Maybe it will be extended even further in due course of releases. But as of now, this is what you have with the latest release version. So you can see that I added this build.gradle file and this Catalan plugin JSON file. So both of them are sitting in here. The next thing is we need to bundle this up and create a jar file. So for doing that, I'm just going to open a command prompt. So make sure you actually have Gradle installed in your machine. I have already installed that, and also I have set the environment variable with the home path and all those stuff. So that's something you need to be doing before you run this particular command. So you can see the Gradle version, what I'm running. It's 5.2.1, and it works pretty fine. So I'm just going to do this Gradle of Katalon plugin package. So this is the command that you need to be running for your package to be created within this particular project. And it seems like it's currently running, starting the Gradle daemon. And you might have seen that there are some new folders being created while I run this particular stuff. And the build got succeeded as well. So the new folder is nothing but this particular build folder. And in this build folder, you actually have this libs folder. So do you see there is something called as Katalon two-factor auth.jar. So this is the jar which is being created by the command that we just executed, the Katalon plugin package command. And within this jar file, you will actually have your actual jar. I can just, maybe I can just show you the content. Yeah, I can make it as a zip, and I can quickly open this up and I will show you. Anyways, we need to zip that as well. And you can see that you have this MFA folder here, which has this particular read MFA, and you have this com, Katalon, org, JBoss, AeroGear. So the whole thing is kind of unzipped, and it is being stored here as well. So the dependency that you added is also sitting within here, right? And I will probably change this to jar, and then I will zip it up, because we need to upload this particular jar file within the Katalon store. But before doing that, we need to test this particular jar file and see if this really works. So for that, I'm going to show you another project, which is going to be like a consumption project, which is going to consume this particular jar file that you just created. So this is like a completely new project, but pretty much exactly the same thing, just that I have added 2 steps here. One is for the logout and to verify if the logout button is actually sitting. So this is not something, the step that you can see in here is kind of missing. So that's the new thing which I have added here. That's it. But it doesn't really have this keyword, which is nothing but the MFA keyword at all. So now all we are going to do is we are going to be using that particular stuff in here. But as you can see that I have called this method, which is completely not available at all. But using our custom keyword, we are going to be enhancing, extending the power of it. So the first thing is I'm going to go to this particular project. I'm going to open the containing folder. And you can see that we have this plugins folder, which is kind of empty right now. So as I said in the slide, we need to, if we want to test our plugin, if it is working fine or not, we need to create, we need to paste our jar file within this plugin folder to see how it works. So I'm just gonna copy paste that particular jar file that we just created, this guy. I'll copy that and I'm gonna paste it over here. Now it's sitting in here. Let me just refresh that just in case. It's not required anyways. And then I'm gonna run this code and see what's gonna happen. So if I just run this in the Chrome browser, the consumption project, you can see that it should hopefully run. Oh, no, it's not running. So it says that the class not found MFA, read MFA. So I guess I need to refresh this. And let's see if that really sits in the plugin folder. Seems to be. I don't see any problem here. All right. So let's try to run this again. Interesting. It says that the class not found exception, which is happening while trying to click the particular file stuff. So let me that's why I just really have a backup plan for that, because if suppose this demo is not really going to work out, I actually try to create the same thing in the Katalon store, which is actually sitting over here. I can quickly show you what's really happening. So if I just go to this particular Katalon store over here, and this is the MFA, it's exactly the same jar file that I have uploaded for the demo. There is no different on that. And if I install that, and we'll see what's really happening, the problem. But as of now, just to see the demo at least, I'll just reload this particular plugin. And it shows that the MFA has been installed. And let me close this guy. And now let me try to run this. In the Chrome browser. So you can see this time it enters the authentication and it works fine. So it's basically the same idea, guys. The way that you create the package, once you zip it up and you create that using the Groovy file, it is going to be creating this particular jar file for you, and then it's going to come up over there and it's going to work. So I guess one of the participant has mentioned that, is there any problem with the jar file? I'm pretty much not sure, because if we try to debug this right now during our demo, it's going to screw things up. But what I can do is I can probably open my previous project, which is sitting in my another folder location, and I will see if that particular file folder is going to create a perfect zip file. If that doesn't really work, then we can just ignore that. So I can just go over here to the open containing folder. And it is the same thing that we just saw. And I'm just going to go to the command, and I will run the same command that we just executed for that. So it's Gradle Katalon plugin package. I'm just going to hit enter. There you go, pretty fast. And now if I go to the build lib, we have this guy. And this is the jar file. Interesting to see that it is kind of 14 KB here. So I'll just copy this particular file, and we can just put this particular file into our consuming project this time, and we'll quickly see how it works. But before that, make sure that we also uninstall the existing plugins that we have installed before that. So I'm just going to uninstall. So you can see this, all the workflow that we are doing of installing the plugin and uninstalling is kind of very, very easy. So if I refresh that, it's kind of gone. And now if I go to this particular plugins, the sample usage, let me delete this. Okay, because it's kind of using right now. Let me just close this particular project for now. And I'm just going to delete that. I'll paste this guy here. And let me also open the Katalon Studio. And we'll try to see if it really works. So basically, this is the idea for creating the plugin from the custom keywords that we have already written and we have used all these days in the Katalon Studio. And it's kind of very, very easy to develop and to share among the community. All right, seems like it's coming over here. And now we don't really have the package of the MFA. It's already gone. You saw that. And I'll try to run this in Chrome and we'll see if it really works. Ooh, error exists in the project. Yep, it's working. So I guess like one of the audience said, like, I think there is some problem with the jar file. It was 25 KB, which is kind of not correct. It should be 14 KB. And for some reason, it has already included that temporary file. So I can probably update the latest version of the Groovy file in there. I just copy pasted it. So it just works for that. All right, so this is how we can create this particular custom package, and we can use that as a custom keyword, as a plugin in Katalon Studio while using the basic, very, very simple build commands, build.gradle file that we have. And we can also leverage the power of this particular Katalon plugin even further by creating our own plugins, which we have not discussed yet. But the Katalon plugin platform will even enhance the way that we are doing, because currently that we have this custom keyword as a plugin doesn't really have any UI, or you can even add that because it is not consuming any one of the libraries or listeners and things of that nature, which is the core behavior of the Katalon. We are not consuming any one of that. That's why we don't see anything in the changes in the UI. But if you want to extend the capability of Katalon plugins, you can see these kinds of stuffs coming in within your Katalon, and then you can do stuffs much easily. And all these UI enabling stuffs can be extended using the files that we have created in the particular project. So again, that's going to be like a Java Maven project. We can do that from there. Well, as that said, the last thing that I'm going to show you is the keyword submit and earn the rewards. So using this particular option, you can actually submit your keywords within the Katalon Studio teams, because it's kind of very, very new, and we are still maturing enough to have all the different kinds of plugins for the community. So you can keep on submitting that particular keyword, and then you can earn rewards. But before submitting, like if you want to see like what is this particular submission and how the submission is going to look like, I can probably show you like how it actually the workflow is going to look like. So if you go here within the Katalon store, and if you're going to upload any one of the package that you have, you can just click here within your profile in the store, and you can see there is something called as manage install plugins, publish new plugin, and manage published plugins. So if I click this managed install plugins here, you can see all the plugins that I have. But publish a new plugin will show you this particular page where you can put your zip file that we just created. Again, the zip file that we created was somehow not working, but I already created another zip file from this particular folder. So you can see it is kind of 11 KB, right? So if you just drag and drop this particular file, it's going to create an plugin folder over here. And then you can add the version and then mini Katalon version. If you feel like it's 0.1, you can do that. And the max version, I'm just going to leave that the same. And then you can hit continue to then add the information regarding the plugin. So basically, it's MFA 2.0. And then you can add some of the logo over there or some of the relevant image for that. And then you can add the description. And then you can also add the source code repo. And you can add some overview regarding that. And then you can see that you need to accept the EULA and then let's say demo and hit save. So once you do that, you can see this MFA 2.0 goes to the draft mode, and it's kind of not active yet. But you still have something called as publish option. And this publish option will take you from your current state of draft to the pending state. So the pending status is where the Catalan team will actually going through your code. And once you do that, you basically, once you publish that, you basically get an email from the Catalan team regarding your plugin, something like this. So it says my name, and it says that it's going to take like 3 to 5 days for the approval, and you can also track the status. So this is how you can submit your own plugin within the Katalon Studio's Katalon Store, and the workflow itself is much, much simpler. And once it is approved, then you will actually see all these different plugins published in here in the Katalon Store. And similarly, your plugins will also appear over here. So that's the very, very simple process. And I hope you might have got an idea of how to use this particular custom plugin by now. So as that said, I'm just gonna switch back to the slide. And now I'm opening the question and answer sessions, like what are the questions that you have? We are actually 3 minutes earlier than the actual question session, but I guess now we have more time to talk and discuss what are the things that we need to improve, or what are the things that you're expecting in the plugins, and how do you think? So you have this question and answer sessions place where you can post your questions. So Rizik has mentioned like, where can I download the template for creating the plugin? So you can actually go to the, as I said, everything is sitting in the GitHub repo of the Katalon Studio. So you can just go over there. So I can quickly show you that. So Katalon Studio plugin. And then they have this Katalon Studio Store plugin. I guess the best place is the GitHub repo of Katalon. And you can see there is something called a sample project. And you can see there is something like Katalon Studio zip sample custom keyword plugin. So once you go there, ooh, what happened? Is this one? Oh yeah, it's all sitting in here. So Excel custom plugin, and then you can see that they actually have this build.gradle file, pretty much exactly the same Gradle file that we just saw, just that there is no dependency here. And then you can take it from there. And similarly, they have mentioned some of the details on how you can add the keywords and stuff. And there is another question like where I paste the jar files for the test in my local project before publishing. Well, it can be anywhere, but it should be the place where you created this particular the custom keyword. So this particular jar file can be anywhere. By the way, it's just a zip file. So you can just zip it up and then you can publish from anywhere. It doesn't really have to be in any one of the folder and things. And Santosh has asked, this is Santosh, if I want to upload my plugin, would it be free for other users or chargeable, or what makes the plugin chargeable? So basically, if you upload a plugin, it's free of charge, guys. It's not paid, but you can make money if you feel like your plugin is something going to be used by a lot of people. You can charge the plugin to have some money. And I'm not really sure if there is any commission for the Catalan because they maintain the server, they store all the plugins. But as of now, I guess you can just publish a plugin, and you can also, as I said, the commissioning and the stores plugin with the cost and commercials are all coming soon. It's not there yet in the Catalan team. So yes, you don't really have to pay anything for the plugin to be published, but rather you actually have to just publish it, and maybe you can make the money out of it. Nisha says, to upload our own plugin, what are the files we need to edit? So again, if you're gonna upload your own plugin, you mean the plugin of that custom keyword as a plugin, or which plugin you're talking about? If you're saying it's a custom keyword as a plugin, then you just need to have your own custom keyword folders plugin file. That's the only thing that you need to be caring about. And all the dependency jar files that you should be looking for. Only these two things plays an important role in here. Other than that, you don't really have to worry about any other files within your Katalon Studio project. So other than that, everything works pretty well, and it's pretty much the same thing. So we're still waiting for some more questions to come in. All right. I just see some questions popping in. It's Richard. Can Catalan be used as a complete DevOps tool or community editions? I guess it depends on how you take it. You can use Catalan. Again, it's not completely the scope of this webinar, though. But you're asking, like, what is this particular Catalan doing as a holistic picture? But there is something called Community Edition. We don't really have, Catalan doesn't really have anything like Pro version or something like that. It's basically a full-blown edition that you get it. But yes, you can use it for end-to-end purpose because there are so many integrations available within Catalan, and they are even improving. So I guess, yes, you can use it for your end-to-end integration as well. And then Neha has the custom. Yes, I think I have already answered that, Nisha. So, and then the Another question Richard has, like, how about support for Oracle-based development? I probably have to get back to you on that because I cannot say anything which I'm not sure about. We should get back to you with the team. I should discuss with them before I answer this question. And Alisgar, maybe I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If not, sorry for that. Is it possible for that Katalon Studio will notify user once the plugin added to the Katalon Store? I'm not sure. Maybe in the future roadmap, if there are so many plugins being developed, maybe there will be like a weekly mail or something like that, which Catalan team will be creating, like how they send out an email right now for any one of the new features being added. Similarly, if there are some cool plugins, the team may be sending out an email regarding the latest plugins added, or even maybe you can subscribe for the different kinds of plugins that you have, something like that. Yes. So maybe those are pretty normal things in other areas, other marketplace, and those things will be eventually or gradually roll out in Katalon Store as well. But as of now, not yet. Any specific programming language for scripting? So currently, it's all Groovy, I guess. So Katalon Studio also support different languages, but I guess what we have right now, what we discussed today, is all on Groovy, and yes, so it's all the same stuffs that you can do for your scripting language for using it. So I think we have answered most of the questions, and there is Mahesh. I know he's from Wellington. Hi, Mahesh. So what will be the approximate cost for plugins in the future? I have no idea about that as well because I'm still using the trial version. And as I said, like the team, it's a pretty new thing. It's a brand new stuff, which probably going to be coming up pretty soon. I don't think Catalan really makes a lot of money by creating the tool. It's kind of free and it's there for free for a pretty long time. I don't even think there will be a huge lot of money for a plugin comparing to other tools, but it should be cost effective and affordable. And we still have 7 more minutes to wind up this particular webinar. We're pretty fast though, but yes, if you still have any other questions, please let me know. And again, if you are eager to know about the Katalon Studio's plugin platform, there is not much documentation yet, but you can still go through some of their repos here, like Katalon Studio platform, and then you can go through and understand what the plugin platforms are doing, like how you can extend that. They actually have a very cool link here, like create your own first Katalon Studio plugin platform. I just played around with it my own, and it's working fine. And it's pretty much like the one which we were talking about, like the listeners and all those stuff is actually available over here. So you can see there's a source code. And if I just scroll all the way down here, so this is where the link about the plugins. So this is the listeners I was talking about. So you will have different kinds of event listeners where you can actually invoke while a plugin is being installed or while a plugin has been uninstalled, and how the plugin has to behave based on different sort of events. So you can see all these stuffs over here within your plugin.xml file. So you can see all this documentation here, but maybe we will have a different video or stuffs in upcoming days. But as of now, this is what we have in the documentation. And Mahesh has one more question. To make our own plugin, do we need to need advanced programming knowledge, or how to achieve that? I don't think we really require an advanced programming language, but it depends on the complexity of the plugin as well, like how we create that. The one which we just saw is pretty simple. It's TOTP authentication. It just generates a token, and I just called a inbuilt method which was sitting within that particular jar file, and it's working fine. But if your own custom plugin, that too, the plugin we are talking here, which is the custom keyword as a plugin, that doesn't really have so much of complexity. For sure, you can just create it based on how easy it is or how complex it is. But for the programming knowledge on the creation of an actual plugin, not the custom keyword as a plugin, I'm talking about the Katalon Studio's plugin platform. That plugin requires you an understanding of different listeners and how the workflow works and how you can consume the extensions and extension points and what kind of plugins that you're going to be creating. Those plugins for sure really requires some programming knowledge, which is beyond what you can do in Katalon Studio, because you can see that that's something Maven's Java project, and it is not something to be done with a Katalon itself. So by the time the team has opened up a little more advanced concept, so you should be doing some advanced programming during that time while you create a plugin. But to simplify things, for the custom keyword as a plugin, you don't really require much programming knowledge because you're going to be using your existing code. And there are some questions actually in the chat. I'm not sure. I'm facing some problem connecting DB2, and I'm not sure about that. And we are still, yes, we are recording the sessions, and it's going to be out, and it's going to be there within the Katalon Studio stores link. You will be seeing this discussion that we have within there, so it should be available. Yeah, sure, Mahesh. I should be adding some more videos in advanced. I'm kind of going through them. And Sheetal has a question like, what to do in my code to add a plugin? You don't really have to do anything to add a plugin to in your code. All you have to know is what the plugin actually exposes, and then you can actually use that. For instance, the plugin that we wrote, we're just talking about the custom keyword plugin here. Let's not confuse. For the custom keyword plugin that I have created, I know what method this particular plugin exposes. So I did not add anything on the description. If you go to the Katalon store, it's kind of very, very blunt, and it doesn't really tell you the details of that. But if you see this one, the calendar custom keyword, the team has really added an example project for that, how to use it. And also they have mentioned the usage, like what should be done as a usage for using that within your own code. So if we have this kinds of level of details, then for sure you will know what you should be doing as a code to use your plugin, use the plugin within your code. But yes, these are the details which is something required while you submit a plugin within the store. You cannot just blankly submit something which nobody can understand and consume it. Hope it answers your question, Sita. So I guess we still have like 1 more minutes to go, and I think we really had a good discussion, which was really cool. So we hope to see a lot of different plugins coming up within the Katalon team, as well as from the community. So yeah, so these are the things, guys. I we really appreciate for your time joining today. And I hope I almost answered all the questions, and we hope we saw some demo on how to use the custom keywords of plugin. Hopefully in future we'll see other steps as well. Thanks for your time, and thanks for joining with us.